What's up, y'all? Talon here. Today I'm back with another series of rank battles featuring top teams in the Regulation F metagame. I actually have the inventor of the team on the channel. This team was piloted by Toler Webb, the Knoxville regional champion. The follow-up performance after his regional championship, the follow-up team. Toler's a person I really respect as a builder and as someone who approaches tournaments very seriously, very meticulously. So I thought bringing him on would be a good chance to get some insight into that. With all that being said, welcome, Toler. Do you want to introduce yourself a little better than I did there?
I mean, I think you did just fine. I've been playing the game, so I'll say I am a 14-year veteran this year of playing Pokemon VGC. So it's always fun to have like new experiences playing the game and still have fun playing. I feel like that's always the biggest achievement that I get. So I guess maybe you can tell that by looking at Sinistcha on the screen, but yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, so obviously we do have a rain team here. We have the Pelipper, the Archaludon, the Urshifu, Landorus, all kind of Incineroar to an extent, all pretty standard rain mons, maybe not in that combination, but the Sinistcha definitely stands out here. Do you want to talk about some of your team building process that led you to that decision?
Yeah. So I've been working on rain since essentially the DLC dropped. So since Archaludon was made legal, I was working on this team basically. There was a very early version that I made, which was Pelipper, Scarf Grass, Urshifu, Amoonguss, Archaludon, of course, Fluttermane, and Incineroar. And that team might sound a little familiar because it was like doing well in some limitless tours, not by me because I didn't play it, but people picked it up when they saw it on ladder. And then I had a friend pilot it to, I think, a top 32 finish, Liverpool, if I recall. So it was doing well, and I always had this sort of rain team on the back burner since I had started. I kept, like, before Charlotte, I was like, I could just bring rain, and then Karis was like, or you could bring the Size Spam team. I was like, okay. And then before Nox, I was like, I'm dropping Golden Go, we're bringing rain. And then the day before, I was like, maybe I should actually bring Golden Go, because it looks good into everything that's not Raging Bolt Balance. And then for Orlando, I was like, I keep working on this rain team and not bringing it to tournaments, so I'm just gonna send it and just roll with it. The idea with this particular version, I built a lot of Amoonguss varieties. I was big on Fluttermane over Landorus in a lot of my versions. The difference here is that one of the challenges with using Pelipper, it's super good offensively. There's really strong Hurricane, really strong Weather Ball. It's like, I always joke, it's like, okay, when you click Weather Ball, it's like it gets Stab Hyper Beam when it's in rain because it's 100 power times 125. So you're literally clicking on a 150 power move just casually, like you one-shot some. I think you have a chance to one-shot No Bulk Landorus after the Tera, which is insane. You might be wrong, but especially if you Stellar Tera, you always get them, Tera or not. But the problem is Pelipper wants Tailwind, Wide Guard, and Protect. So the idea was, okay, Amoonguss is the other support piece on this team, and so we can't fit another support piece that would use Trick Room easily. There are some versions with Dusclops and things like that. But what if instead of running Amoonguss, we run a Pokemon that does almost the same thing as Amoonguss, like still heals its partners, still redirects attacks, but gives us speed control through Trick Room. So this is the core trade-off is like Trick Room versus Spore. And then the rest of the team is a pretty standard rendition of Rain, but with the conceit that you're allowed to be slower because you have this really powerful Trick Room mode, which can win you a lot of games. Which is also conveniently why this team has a playable Manual Sun matchup as opposed to an Auto Lost Sun matchup, because you're not trying to outspeed them with Scarf Ursh. You can actually like kind of get rid of the Chi-Yu in set TR. And then also you get to really take advantage of Mystic Water Urshifu, which in rain, that thing hits like a truck. Landorus helps you get through Raging Bolts, which, I mean, Regaf is on the way out, but like that thing is a menace. And then you have Incineroar to both power up Urshifu, helping hand rain boosted Surging Strikes, kills everything. And also give you knockoff support, and useful fake outs for Sinistcha to set TR if you ever need to force that. So really, like, your big attacker is usually Pelipper, unless you're against Raging Bolt. And then you're sort of just utilizing this unique speed control that Sinistcha offers, and really like a mountain of healing that it gives you. And most of your matchups are just on the fact that Bug Archaludon is functionally unkillable, and then if you see an Amoonguss, then instead of Bug Archaludon, it's Grass Urshifu time.
Yeah, I know on your stream match you talked up the Bug Archaludon a lot, talking a bit about the trade-offs between grass. You kind of need one of the grass Teras to handle the Amoonguss on either the Ursh or the Arch, but each kind of comes with their trade-offs. And what made you settle for the Tera Bug? Because I feel like it was pretty insightful, what you said on stream.
Yeah, Bug, you know, I was on and off with Grass Arch and Water Ursh, because Water Ursh can do some pretty impressive stuff too, and is really appealing. Like, for example, Rain-boosted Terra Water Surging Strikes can one-shot Quiet Porygon too. That's crazy. They have to literally be bold. But the upside of Bug Arch is that your Chien-Pao matchup in particular, all of your Chien-Pao matchups get a lot easier. And Landorus also is much easier to deal with. So this is the difference between Bug and Flying. Flying, you become weak to Ice. So if you don't have any boosts, Flying is kind of a risky Terra if you want to try to dodge a Sacred Sword or something. Whereas Bug is always safe into Chien-Pao to dodge a Sacred Sword, and it's always safe into Landorus. And in turn, like, all of their partners aren't as big of a deal. The only thing you're dealing with that Grass does that Bug doesn't do is Surging Strikes on Urshifu, retaining that resistance. So Bug is like a way to essentially auto-win a lot of physical heavy matchups, because they're going to rely on fighting moves to hit Arch, and Sacred Sword is a fighting move, which is the most important move to hit Arch through stamina, and you can Aqua Jet yourself, Life Dew back up, all this sorts of stuff. And then +1 Draco is enough to clear a Lando Eye, so you're always threatening that too.
Yeah, I think a lot of the choices on the team are really intentional. I want to talk through the U-turn choice on the Urshifu. Rarely do we see anything but close combat, but I haven't seen U-turn on a just standard, or not standard, but a non-Scarf Urshifu, so what's the utility there?
Yeah, so this is a common theme with, this is coming from the 4 months of spending time with Archaludon. A very common theme with Archaludon is that you'll want to U-turn off of yourself when they have a passive turn, to give yourself a stamina boost for it later in the game. So that's a nice piece, but the most important thing here is actually that Sinistcha teams, there's kind of a, like, this is a principle that's going to get lost with Reg G, and no one's going to know about it until Sinistcha is viable again. But I built with Sinistcha before as well, in Reg E, and sort of the way that Sinistcha works is you have like a critical mass of number of manual pivot moves to make Hospitality like genuinely broken. So for example, a position that you could have would be, you have Sinistcha Urshifu out, and your Archaludon is kind of low on HP, or you're going to switch in Archaludon to take a big hit for Sinistcha. So like, I don't know, someone is going to throw an Ice Spinner into the Sinistcha slot. It's a pretty common situation. What you can do is you can switch in Arch, take the Ice Spinner, U-turn, Sinistcha comes back out, and you heal the Arch. And then following turns, you can switch Sinistcha out and switch it back in, and you sort of manufactured healing in the right place. And so the other pivot move here is Parting Shot. And close combat is appealing in a sense, but like Rain-boosted Surging usually serves the role that close combat does, even against like Raging Bolt or something like that. And U-turn is still very active against Farigiraf, against Water Pond, like a lot of the big targets that Urshifu doesn't like to be in front of. Rillaboom, you still hit very hard with U-turn and don't expose yourself. So like U-turning back into Arch, like the team loves to switch in Arch at the right time and loves to switch in Sinistcha at the right time, and U-turn gives you that opportunity. It feels a little bit bad sometimes to not have CC damage, but I definitely did never want to change the U-turn.
Looking back, after you're showing what the team was ultimately 6-3. How do you think the team's matchups fared?
Yeah, so if anything, the team was too good. At least into the Orlando meta. I had 5 rounds where I was kind of cruising and knew what I needed to do. And then I came up against Dondozo matchup in round 6. And frankly, like, I said this on Twitter too, like, I got really lazy. I let that Dondozo get to +3 when I should have cycled Instant in and out a little bit more. He was just order-upping my Sinistcha slot repeatedly, and I was like, oh no, what if Instant gets wave crashed? And it was like, no, then Sinistcha would be totally healthy, so it would be fine, and you would have enough time. But I was, chasing ghosts. And then lost the second game to a crit. That's fine. That happens a lot with this kind of team because you're just taking a lot of hits. So you kind of have to play the game knowing that you're going to get crits sometimes. So I had so many easy games in a row that I just wasn't totally on for that one when I needed to be really precise. Or maybe I was just sleepy in the afternoon, I don't know. And then immediately the round after, I pull the 1 manual Sun player in the tournament and then whiff Draco on turn 1. So if we run into manual Sun tonight, I'll talk about what the actual plan is in that matchup, because there's a very specific flowchart that you need to do to beat Cheetorn. And unfortunately, I missed Draco, so sad news. And then got the second game with the flowchart, and then all the power was his because he could decide whether to adjust or not, and he did, and I didn't adjust. So I kind of regret not like anticipating it, but at the same time, it was a guessing game. And then round 9, like one of the tricky parts of playing this team is that it's really vulnerable to pressure, and I kind of like got scared and fell for a lot of like good offensive pens and 50-50s that my opponent was going for when I had the resources to stop them. So like I just like didn't use my defensive resources well enough or efficiently enough, and it kind of punished me. But I didn't feel like it was the team's fault at all. Like I had six matchups that didn't feel like I really had to try, and I had 3 where I had to try and didn't try hard enough. In a sense, it kind of felt like.
Now that regionals winning a regional rather, grants you a Worlds invite, as well as a litany of other perks, pride being pretty high up there, money as well. Has that changed your approach to tournaments at all? And if so, how?
I wish it didn't affect me, but I was definitely battling a little bit with the, well, why should we care about Orlando? You know, that kind of perspective, which I hate because, like, you know, I only get so many of these tournaments that I get to attend in my lifetime. You know, eventually I'm going to be too old or I'm going to be too busy. And, like, it's not going to be, like, it's an inevitability. People change. And so I really want to take every tournament as seriously as I can and, like, give it my all, especially with this team, which I love so much. But, like, I was definitely dealing with that, well, I don't have to practice as hard. It's like, almost like there was a lot of inertia to getting myself to do the kind of work that I wanted to do with this team. So I kind of regret not being able to do more, but at the same time, you know, I got to focus on real life a little bit more, which is good.
Yeah. I think it also doesn't help that Regulation F was dying this tournament.
It was so hard to get games. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I was like top 10 on ladder on one account and like 1680, but gaining 10 points a day because I could find 2 matches and I got 5 points from each of them.
Yeah, prep for this regional seemed pretty brutal for everyone involved, but
yeah.
Well, I appreciate all the insight on the team. I'm sure the viewers do as well. With all that being said, I think let's get into some battles now and see what we got here.
Yeah, let's lose 3 games in a row and say the team is bad, right?
Let's hop in. I think my intention is there it is. We look at the team. I guess I'll name out the Pokemon. I can talk about an initial approach I would take as a novice, and then you can kind of maybe set me straight. Ultimately, we're probably going to be defaulting to you just because I think seeing the experienced game plans is a whole lot more interesting than watching me wing it.
Well, I mean, like, I'm not necessarily going to be perfect, so it'll be fun either way. It'd be good if you jostle me a little bit in my my assumptions on how things should go, right?
Sure. But yeah, I've been laddering a little bit just because of I have a PC coming up in Regulation F, which I'm not taking too seriously.
Practice.
Yeah, I'm not trying Showdown. Okay, we got a trainer.
Cool.
Okay, 224 on ladder.
Cool.
So our opponent has Torn, Landorus, Urshifu, Rillaboom, Chenpao, and Archaludon. Usually with Chenpao Dark, we're probably not going to see the Dark Urshifu, but we never know. I'm seeing the nicknames for the first time. Very nice, Toler.
Thank you. Yeah.
Where are they coming from?
These are all like several of them I asked my girlfriend what I should name the Pokemon, and so like she was like, oh, Incineroar instead of Meow. And I was like, okay, that's what it is. Cattywampus is named after its mark. It has the Pompous mark, so it's Cattywampus the Pompous.
Yeah. Okay, so you mentioned this Archaludon being pretty key against physical teams. This kind of seems like that outside of the Lando and the Arch.
Yeah, which Tera is still really good. Yeah.
Exactly. So Arch is my instinct, but I'll kind of have to lean on you to define the rest of the game plan.
Yeah, so this is a tricky one. Arch is going to be strong here as long as you get the chance to Tera Bug and Torn doesn't kill you. I would probably lean towards Arch Pelly, so you have Wide Guard early in the game, but you have to be pretty afraid of their Archaludon, so I would at least bring Sinistcha for TR. And then the last mod is kind of up to you. I like Urshifu here. Landorus is a little bit harder to play safely. Ensign can come, but doesn't have Flare Blitz, so probably Ursh, and this is like the most default game plan that you could possibly bring with this team.
All right, good to see first.
Yeah. I don't know if this is going to be right because we're expecting, right, like Power Archaludon or something on that team. And early Bug Tera is not ideal if they get to Bleak Windows, but yeah, I really like Wide Guard pretty early in a lot of these games.
Yeah, I know on stream, I believe you led the Pelipper Arch.
Yep. Yeah, this is great.
Okay.
So we're threatening a one-shot on Torn immediately with E-Shot.
Should we bother going for a Bug Tera?
Certainly not, right? Because then we're just opening ourselves up to damage, and if we don't Bug Tera, then we get to attack with Pelipper potentially.
Do we want to attack or protect on Pelipper? Or Wide Guard or something?
That's the question. I'm a little worried about Landers coming in for the Tornadus. I think it's unlikely, but possible, which is their only reason to Weather Ball. But I think Protect is just as good. Wide Guard is also okay. I probably would just go for the Weather Ball because I think this is going to be a fast game, and I want Pelly to go down sooner rather than later.
Tailwind? Okay.
That's fine.
So
now if they're Sash Torn, they'll still faint, I guess.
They're getting their E-Shot off.
Yeah, this is a little scary. We're going to have to be really careful with those Tailwind turns because we're not going to get to TR very easily this game.
So bringing us down to the Sash, obviously. I guess, which is faster between the Arch and the Pelipper?
Oh, definitely Pelipper. Yeah.
Okay.
Archaludon is really, really bulky. Okay, interesting. Shouldn't KO.
All right, so we're trading +1s here. They are likely on this team the sturdy one, right? The sturdy Arch with the Power Herb. It's not.
Well,
certain,
I don't.
But...
Yeah, they set Rain, so they might be AV.
They set Tailwind.
Sorry, they set Tailwind, but we had Rain. That is what I meant to say.
Yeah.
Sorry. See, this is why it's important that I'm not alone.
In game.
Yeah,
like,
man.
I can't count the amount of times I've been playing, and then like a viewer is like, "Hey, that Entei was actually pressure, and you intimidated it. You idiot! Why didn't you notice?"
Right, you dummy. Okay, so this spot is also tricky. Surging does a lot to Arch, even if we don't Tera, and they're threatening CC as well. We also don't know what the Urshifu set is.
Does CC knock us out?
It has like a 50% chance to if they're max attack adamant. I kind of like Sinistcha here, but it's a little risky. I think if I were playing, I'd probably just stay in and E-Shot the Urshifu anyway, which is insane, and click like Hurricane into it. But maybe that's really lazy.
Let's be insane. Let's be a little lazy. Oh, okay. Well, I guess we'll take the boost and the switch into Sinistcha.
If they clear Pelly, so this is kind of the question, right? +2 Draco doesn't KO our Arch. It might KO theirs if they're really offensive.
Okay.
It's good. We're burning turns of Tailwind. That's really important.
I guess they were trying to like burn our defensive option there.
Yeah, looking for a Tera from us.
But we'll take the +2.
Pelly off the board anyway. Yep.
At this point, if they're not a like Grass Tera or otherwise electric defensive Tera, we do have a knockout into that, right?
Yep, that slot is always knocked out from Rage Powder E-Shot. Yep. If we go City immediately, which is what we'll do here probably. I mean, like, you can go Ursh, but I don't think you can stall the Tailwind turns as easily.
Their Arch is kind of getting threatening, though.
It is big scary. It doesn't have any stamina boost, so it's also going to take a lot from a CC. If we chip it at all, then we're in a good spot.
We can't CC it, though. Right? Because of U-turn.
Not yet, but we have Protect. Oh, that's right, I don't have CC. We have Surging. That's what I meant to say. Okay. See, I built the team, and I talked about why U-turn was good.
Do we feel like it's Landorus coming in on the Ursh, or...
If it is...
I don't know if we can make that read.
I don't think we're allowed to make that read. I think we just E-Shot Rage Powder, as usual. And if it is Landorus, I think it's actually still doable because of Bug Tera and because of Rain running out.
Oh, that's true.
Okay, that's fine.
My hope is Chen Pao or something silly, but...
That is Chen Pao. Yeah,
that's
Gen.
That's okay.
Yeah.
We're pogging for that.
Yeah, definitely. I don't think they get Cine here unless they have Draco, and if they use Draco, we're more than happy. This is awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
Down to neutral.
Down to neutral indeed.
They're not going to love taking Surging Strikes with Chen Pao in the field if we don't Aqua Jet the Chen Pao.
I was about to say, it's a pretty safe Aqua Jet. The trickiest bit here is like timing the KO on Urshifu correctly. Unless they're Assault Vest Chen Pao and they just faint. Okay. Focus. Actually, we're Grass Urshifu, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we can take an E-Shot if we need to. We can also Tera Bug protect Ursh for a turn while Tailwind runs out, although I don't like that as much. But we can Grass Aqua Jet and Draco their Arch. Yeah.
We got time.
We got time. We got extra time to think about it.
So, assuming they're sturdy, I mean, Draco gets them down, but obviously isn't much better than Electro Shot or something.
Given that they keep clicking E-Shot, I hope we're not missing a mechanic where Power would have activated in Rain. I don't think it would.
No, yeah. I think you're right about that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so...
You know what actually I'm thinking here? No, I'm wrong. Yeah, I'm wrong. Okay. No, we're gonna have to Aqua Jet the Chen Pao at some point here.
Yeah. I feel like we detect just to buy a turn, because otherwise I
don't think we can afford the damage on Arch is the problem.
Won't they be able to close combat us though? Once we take this knockout? I'm kind of... I'd like
it's
to
tricky.
prime. I'd like to prime the Arch and Tera Bug. Like,
I think you Draco their Arch and Terra Grass Aqua Jet the Chen Pao. I think that's probably it. Oh god. Okay, we're clicking Surging Strikes.
Yeah.
Actually, fine. I guess.
Yeah.
We didn't Terra.
I ran a bit.
Oh no, you're fine. I messed you up. So this E-Shot's gonna definitely go into our Urshifu. And we're gonna lose it.
Bummer.
Bummer indeed. We'll have to see how much Draco does.
Yeah, I think that was probably sturdy, but...
Well, if it's AV, we can KO. If we hit. That is so Pokemon.
Yeah.
Well, now the only right move is Tera Bug. No, I mean we don't give up yet, although we're dead to Surging in the wrong time. But only correct move is Tera Bug.
Yeah.
Probably Draco still, right? Unless you want to body press or something. But I was Draco, and then we're dead to Urshifu just KOing us. My bad. I should have been clear about what.
No, I had enough time to lock it in, but I was like, I hit R, and then I was like, oh, I also have to go to the left and select it for some reason.
Dude, the Scarlet Violet battle interface is crazy.
Oh,
Here's
nice.
a crash.
They make the read.
Well, yeah, I guess. These Japanese players, oh, they're faster than us too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just dead.
Yeah, that was winnable.
Okay.
That was, so I guess projecting outward, we Aqua Jet, we knock out their...
Mm-hmm.
Then
we Draco their Arch.
Draco Arch, we still take the Sucker. They go down to Sturdy, presumably, and then...
Or they die, right? I think it's actually really likely that they were just AV and would have died.
Maybe, yeah.
Or, sorry, gotten knocked out.
Good
Ooh,
save.
check on. Yeah, not quite good enough. If we are 68 special attack, that's another thing about this Archaludon that's very particular. Is that it is... Okay, yeah, if they're Assault Vest, we're always KOing them. So actually, I think we won that game no matter what. If they're AV, and if they were Power Herb, then we could have jet them again. Or sorry, yeah.
And I'd assume after the Sucker Punch, it did about
We take a
third.
CC. We take a CC.
I think it'd be close, but we might just edge it out, so yeah.
Yeah.
We'll chalk that up as a forced error, but I think the game plan was solid there, and we were in a good spot.
Yeah, I wasn't too worried about it. It was definitely, I think this is one thing that's really particular about my style as a player that you can kind of infer from the little bit of friction that we've had is like, I am very pro sacrifice my Pokemon for better position and like take a trade to simplify the board state.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that's necessarily how you always approach the game, which is fine. But
Okay.
it's something with this team, especially since your arch is usually stronger than whatever they're going to bring in.
Yeah, fair enough. We have the next one. We have Landorus, Ogrepon, Fluttermane, Rillaboom, King Gambit, and Gouging Fire. Is this James Evans' team, actually?
Yeah, this is the 6. This is all of them.
All right.
I mean, flashbacks. Yeah.
Approaching it from a different angle this time.
Definitely. A more favorable angle, actually. Bug Archaludon is menace in this matchup. They have to really rely on Fluttermane, but we can always heal off damage with Sinistcha.
Mm-hmm.
Just be very mindful if we lead Pelipper, we're giving them rain, and that makes it so our Bug Tera isn't as good defensively, which we might still want to do, but like stuff to think about against a potential Landorus lead.
What do you think you would do here?
I think thoughts. I'd probably in tournament at Orlando, I probably would have done Pele Arch and then Cine Ursh again, which is really boring. But I'm also thinking about maybe Urshifu Arch, Cine Pele, which sounds kind of nice. Would be cool. Yeah.
Speedy inputs this time.
Indeed, that was speedrun world record right there.
Yeah. Okay.
So what this does is it doesn't power up the Ogrepon immediately and gives us the forcing the follow me immediately, and we take an Earth power on Urshifu. So if they lead Lando Ogrepon, we're not as in dire straits.
Rhythmic and Demeteros.
That's my favorite. That's so cool.
Okay, so we see the Lando and the Rillaboom up against our U-turn Ursh and Archaludon. Seems like Tera Bug might be a decent option, or a switch, probably.
Yeah, long-term plan, Tera Bug is great. Sinistcha is also well-positioned here, but I think if we take a hit on the switch-in, we'll feint to Sludge Bomb Woodhammer because of the Miracle Seed.
Mm-hmm.
So, what am I thinking? I think you can make a read here, but I think Tera Bug attack this turn. I would probably go for Flash Cannon rather than Draco. Is pretty safe and gives us an early Tera, and then I would just protect so we can get Cine value the following turn.
Makes sense. And we're going to see a Tera from that. Oh, no.
No, that's all us, baby.
So probably no Tera from them.
That's all us.
Could see the Rillaboom, but I feel like...
No, this Archaludon is incredibly slow.
Oh, okay.
Which acts to our advantage sometimes because it means that we'll get boosts from a Rillaboom before we body press, but we're almost always slower than them.
Ooh.
Okay, Fake Out goes there, so maybe they're subbing.
Maybe they thought Scarf there?
Maybe. Scarf is pretty common on these kinds of teams.
Yeah, like a Scarf defensive Tera to snipe their Lando.
Big Earth Power, but we get a Stamina boost. So this is good because it's taking us out of range of whatever Ogrepon might want to do.
Ooh.
Right.
Not a 2-hit KO.
Not quite, but that damage is still really valuable. Enough to break us up, and actually enough to kick them into Aqua Jet range if you want to do that. We probably win this game if we Aqua Jet the Lando and then end up going Pele. But I also think I want to leave Arch in here for sure.
Do you like just Aqua Jet Flash Cannon that slot, or Aqua Jet?
Yeah, or we could, I think Aqua Jet Flash Cannon is fine, and if Ursh goes down, then more power to him.
They could go into Ogrepon here.
Okay, that's fine.
We're getting a little chip, I guess. Yeah.
Well, tiny chip, but the more important thing is we're creating a target for Electro Shot. Always happy to see these two Pokemon when you're using Archaludon. They just can't deal damage to you very easily.
So Pelipper is offensively threatening them, but we could also go into the Sinistcha.
We need to start getting Electro Shots going, I think, because we're going to be in the long-term Archaludon game plan.
It's a nice chunk.
Yeah, very, very critical on that one. Sort of a tricky thing here because we know the Rillaboom has Taunt. We actually want to be Electro Shotting probably the Rillaboom rather than the Ogrepon. Although maybe I'm wrong on that one. And then we can take advantage of Protect.
Sure, let's get after it.
I think that's right. Because then we have wasted an taunt going forward. They might Terra Water and whack the Archaludon, but in that case, then we can switch Sinny and heal. And it's just a matter of how many crits they get, I guess.
They're gliding.
Glide.
Maybe going
Probably
after the Pelipper.
Yeah. That's fine. I'm perfectly fine with Pelipper going all the way down here and just winning this game with Archaludon and Sinny last two. Because they don't really have strong answers to it. Okay. We just need to make sure that they don't get the big taunt.
Oh, was that?
Okay. That's AV, right?
Yeah, that did nothing.
That's... Yeah. Because what, you go roughly, it's like a 90-ish power attack. Okay. Yeah. Well, E-Shot would get Ogerpon here if we wanted to, but if that is AV... Maybe you swap Pelly out for Sinny now, but...
Yeah, I don't know if we need to give up the Pelipper, like you say.
Probably not just yet, yeah. It's just Sinny HP that I'm very mindful of, right?
Just trying to set up a Trick Room, guaranteeing that.
Yep.
Pretty low value hospitality, but...
Definitely not the best hospitality of all time. We'll get better ones. Okay, Grassy Glide. And Ivy Cudgel into the Arch. Okay, no crits, please. Thank you.
That's nice.
That's nice, indeed.
If they had Terra there, I guess that could have been scary. If they crit.
Yeah, if they crit. That's right.
I mean, if they
crit and Terra, we would have gone to like 20 HP. We really wanted that hospitality boost.
Woo!
Okay.
No more crits, buddy.
No more cudgels. I think that gets there usually anyway, especially if they're offensive. But if they're secretly AV Rillaboom, then I have other problems.
Yeah, I feel like that damage roll looks pretty AV to me.
Alright. It's one of the really... Okay, so Fluttermane is pretty scary. Are they Specs or Sash? We don't know. We can't Terra Sinistcha.
No, we cannot.
I would be Flash Cannoning the Fluttermane. But the question is what Sinistcha is doing. You know what? Probably switching... Well...
Yeah, I guess it kind of has to be It has to be Sash to live
Actually,
this.
Grassy Terrain's about to run out, right? So we can just attack and use Matcha Gotcha to beat the Sash option. And then if Sinny goes down, then we go Pelly, and Pelly gets actually an unanswerable Hurricane into the Rillaboom the following turn. So they're forced to make a switch. Yes. Okay. So maybe we should have gone into Pelipper, but this is so fine, especially if they're Specs. If they're not Specs, then tough nuts, but...
Does that KO if they're Timid or Focus Sash, you think? I'd say
if they're Timid Sash, it is a big time roll. We are almost max special defense bold, but they are not Sash.
They mixed it up. They said, James Evans, you sly dog, I know better than you. And
well, he won with Specs.
Oh, did he?
But he had Sash briefly, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the thing, is they need to fake out both Pokemon. Flash Cannon gets the Landorus, Weather Ball also gets the Landorus, and we still have Rain for 2 more turns, if I'm not mistaken. So, and they physically cannot win the game with just Rillaboom. It does not work against Archaludon.
You, of course, neglect the extremely likely Terra Rock Garithmic.
The Terra Rock what? The Terra Rock Landorus with Rock Blast?
The Terra Rock Garithmic.
That wouldn't do any damage. Because you have so many boosts.
Yeah, so we're just doubling this Lando.
I think so, yeah. I would Weather Ball rather than Hurricane since Pelipper goes first, but like, it's really not important. It's just the question of like, okay, Sludge Bomb crit into Rillaboom clicking Protect or something. Okay, yeah, they can't win. I don't think they can win at least. Sludge Bomb crit would be bad. Okay, sub, that's fine.
Not quite.
Not the Terra Rock Terra Blast Rillaboom. Or Terra Rock Rock Slide. Oh, that'd be bad.
Does it learn that?
I have no idea, but it does
doubt
learn
it.
physical attacks, and a lot of Pokemon that learn physical attacks learn Rock Slide. The
They
funny
get the-
thing is we actually get more HP back than we lost this turn.
Yeah, their Rillaboom's looking less and less threatening. Terra Rock notwithstanding.
It would have to be special Terra Rock. I will say.
This is a good point. Same play. I mean, it feels like they're angling for sub protect stalling, but at the same time, like,
Yeah, there's a world here
matter.
where it's like they are probably stalling out the last turn of rain, right? So we might Hurricane the Rillaboom, but also nothing the Rillaboom does matters.
I'm tempted to Hurricane just to cover for it.
Yeah, I kind of like that. I like Hurricane more
Does it
because
even
I think
go
Sludge
down?
Bomb crit doesn't get Arch now. Even Sludge Bomb crit would hammer with the boosts. They'd have to
AV
double
kind of
crit.
gives me pause, but I don't know.
Is this gonna be Terra? This got to be Terra the Rillaboom, right? No. Oh, they're powering up their Sludge Bomb. This could get it. This could get us, man. This could get us. We're in trouble.
If we KO Rillaboom, we're good, but I think the AV could be tricky.
Oh, are they getting Pelipper here? No way. They have to go for Arch. They have to go for the crit. But the crit surely doesn't. Okay, crit probably would have left us with either one or killed us. How much does Hurricane do? Is the game over this turn?
Yeah.
The game is over this turn.
So if they had crit, yeah, we lose. But I don't think there was really anything we could do to cover them critting it.
Yeah.
So
Why it's a good best of 3 team, right? Because people typically have to get, if it's a bad matchup, they have to get multiple crits over the course of the best of 3 for it to work. And crits are 1 in 24.
nice. Cool. Got to show off the Arch that time without me bungling a Terra endgame. So
This is the thing. This happens. This happens. It happened to me on Showdown earlier, and it was on Showdown where I had all the clicking speed in the world. My Diamond in League of Legends mouse control didn't save me.
I've gotten pretty low on Showdown on the timer, and then I'm just like having to race the animations, and in 5 seconds, those are always the worst.
Well, I didn't realize. So like the habit on Showdown is to always click skip animations, right?
Mhm.
And just like jump past them. And you don't notice this, but if you actually watch the animations, your decision timer ticks down while the animations are going.
It does, yeah.
And I like to watch the animations because it's closer to cart, but yeah.
Yeah, I like to watch, but if I'm playing like a really grindy game against a good opponent, and I'm
Skip.
taking my time, I suddenly see 30 seconds, 25, and then I'm getting 5 seconds a turn, and it's like, all right, well, I guess I'm just playing like a nincompoop, just making my most base instinct plays, but
Blitz chess.
oh my
Okay.
god.
This is insane. What is going on here?
We got
So
bundle.
this is one of the reasons why I was excited to run Rain in Orlando. Is you have an exceptionally good grass spam matchup because Ogerpon and Rain just doesn't hurt Archaludon even if they do get a crit. And if they don't get a crit, you're taking in the range of like 10 to 15 HP points once you have a few boosts. So actually the scariest thing here is the Annihilape.
Yeah. Outside of that Iron Bundle, I feel like Landorus could have a good game, just offensively. But Arch as well is just like uncontested against a lot of their team. What's your thought process on this one?
Okay, so I want to make sure we bring Sinistcha.
Probably.
Yeah, something like. See, this is the thing that happens a lot. You do Peliarch, Sinistcha, something, but I think this time it's probably Landorus, and then we might be holding Terra for Landorus.
Okay.
Landorus is a Pokemon that I have a lot of doubts about whenever I bring it, but I don't think Urshifu is better here. So
Yeah, a lot of grass types, Iron Bundle as well, just a really difficult one.
mhm. Well, grass types are more than good for Archaludon at least.
Fair
Really
enough,
likes to see grass types. And Iron Bundle also doesn't really hurt Archaludon, like Freeze Dry is doing somewhere in the range of like 30%, enough to heal with a Hospitality. So this might be a game where we get to really see that shine.
Yeah.
Raging
Bolt
Bolt 8.
Annihilate.
So we need to be careful with Final Gambit stuff, don't we?
That's a good point. Yeah, that's definitely something you could ID with the Farigiraf. Could be something cheesy like that.
Yeah. Well, it feels very easy to just go Cine for Arch and Hurricane the Ape slot, right?
Sure. If they did Final Gambit, does that matter so much with Landorus in the back? I guess Iron Bundle would then kind of be tough.
Yeah. I think it's better to get the KO on our terms.
Okay.
And if they don't have that, then Sinistcha is well positioned against the Bolt and the Ape. We can just switch in Landorus the following turn.
Okay, so we like Hurricane into Annihilape, just put some pressure on it.
I think so, yeah. And if they Tera, then Landorus is going to be having a field day. And if they double target the Pelipper, then I'm really sorry. I'm just trolling your viewers.
I think it'd be pretty aggressive for them to do that.
Okay.
Especially if they're Scarf. I think they'd have to
at least
bulk up to do that. How fast is Pelipper? Are we timid or modest?
We hit 117 speed stat, so we are modest.
Quick modest one.
We are max speed sash modest, that's right. Okay, protect.
Okay.
This is okay. Rage Fist is a pretty bad move now. They can't Tera the Ape twice. They go for Snarl. Okay, so that looks like Assault Vest, Raging Bolt.
Yeah.
So they are really defending that Annihilate. What do I like? I honestly think we're just hitting the Ape to the extent possible. I don't know if it's Rage Powder Hurricane or Matcha Gotcha Hurricane. I kind of like Matcha Gotcha, because then Landorus can come in and attack pretty safely.
Okay.
But we have to be careful with Clap. And Arch...
Yeah, I don't know if
Arch gets worse by the minute.
I don't know if I want to give them Thunderclap.
More boost.
And also boost them. Like, we could burn...
You could always Rage Powder and Hurricane, because they can't Tera the Ape, right?
Yeah, I mean, they could E-Web here, but I'd like... In an ideal world where we burn, obviously Matcha Gotcha I think is better here, but I'd like
chipping them into Sandseer range is always nice. Okay. It's going to be a big Rage Fest. We might be down to just Archaludon and Landorus right away.
I imagine Sandseer is a KO here, right? Oh.
Yeah, I bet it is. Oh, okay. We dodge a Snarl.
What?
I don't know if it is, actually.
Yeah.
I would have liked Pelipper to... I mean, I obviously prefer not to get hit by Snarl, but...
So I feel like we have to pressure here, right, with Landorus?
Actually, I think we go Arch first. And E-Shot the... No, yeah, you're right, Landorus. It's Landorus. But the problem is they're just going to protect Snarl for a turn, right? So we can Weather Ball Sludge Bomb, or we can just Weather Ball the Raging Bolt, but we're essentially like stalling. We really need to start clicking E-Shot pretty soon here so that Arch can be useful later in the game.
Do you like Snarl? I feel like they're going to protect again.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's better to protect the Landorus.
I'll just protect.
And yeah, I mean, if we get the Weather Ball, right? And then if they like Clap Protect, that's fine. But we just want to chip the Bolt as much as we can. We also could have Wide Guard Sandseer to stop a Snarl. We still can, actually.
No Thunderclaps.
No claps.
No clapping.
They are not impressed by our performance. Okay, so they went Dragon Pulse to get around Wide Guard. Interesting. Okay. We are modest Sandseers, so we do have like very easy Wide Guard Sandseer if we want.
Do you think Sandseer Weather would KO?
The Raging Bolt? No.
Yeah. No? Okay.
No, not at all.
No. Could be cute and Terra Steel.
Yeah, I'm not as attached to the idea. I think really what we're doing is we're just chipping the Raging Bolt into Flash Cannon range. And at this rate, we're going to be resetting our own rain after we switch Arch in the following turn here. Hopefully Sandseer actually gets the Annihilape. I have doubts about this Landorus, man. Potato lets me down all the time. There's the Clap to try to keep Annihilape alive. Really bad if they get the Rage Fist. Oh no!
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. I'm in danger. Okay. So I'll have rain for a turn.
Should we switch?
We can Sludge Bomb the Raging Bolt and go Arch here, actually. Because Sandseer's not going to get the Raging Bolt. They're likely to protect Ape. And then if we switch, we get Rain back the following turn. I've been counting Rain in the back of my head.
Is Marvel's no bound? Okay. It was one Rain turn.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm very used to not checking the status screen enough. And if they attack with Ape, then tough nuggets. But
they might stall a turn to get fake out pressure. Ah. Okay.
Oh no. Well, the question is what they attacked.
Annihilape's always just a little bit too bulky.
I suppose, yeah. Pelipper's still faster than it. We'll take a Rage Fist. We'll take one Rage Fist on Arch. So if their last two are Ogerpon Rillaboom, then we actually probably still win. Actually, most of their last twos will beat with this, but it's going to require some very careful in-gaming. Iron Bundulus. Interesting. So we don't know the bundle item until they show us Booster. Okay, yeah, Booster. I feel like they're going to Rage Fist the Archaludon.
Oh yeah.
The question is if they Freeze Dry Rage Fist the Archaludon or not. My inclination is to... This is a read situation. I feel like your instincts for this are better than mine.
Yeah, I feel like they're probably going to attack. They could even protect Annihilape, Freeze Dry. Does that get them? No. Yeah, they can't really Freeze Dry us. On some level, they're just boosting us up.
Yeah, we'll get more defense to work with, so they can't really double the Annihilape safely, or the Archaludon safely. I kind of agree with this play. Only kind of, though. Only kind of.
Yeah, I don't know. I think
it's so tricky.
I'm a little worried about them protecting Ape. I could have gone after the bundle here.
Rage Fist is going to do a lot to Arch, I think, because there are 2 stacks.
Oh,
what?
All right, I'll take it.
No way, what?
That's not right.
They thought that we would target the bundle down. I guess like Protect Electro Shot bundle was the obvious play, but alas, that was not what we clicked.
All right, we take those.
So what can their last even be? It can be Farigiraf, Hearthflame, or Rillaboom, all of which we are more than happy to see next to a bundle. And even if they Encore us, like, who gives a hoot?
Hoot indeed. Ogerpon.
Okay, great. I hope they hit us. They don't have Tera, so... Yeah.
Okay.
Probably losing Pelly here, but I think we can... Unless there's Swords Dance. Ooh, that's scary. How many turns of rain do we have? 3? 4.
So we can just take the Iron Bundle with Electro Shot. They probably has to Freeze Dry us to stop that, and then just attack into the Ogerpon.
I think so, yeah. The only thing I'm worried about is like follow me into like getting frozen, but I think this is right. Yeah. Ogerpon can't get rid of Pelly without Woodhammer, and if they're Woodhammer, then they're...
Yeah, I guess they can follow me, which is concerning. Should we Draco then?
Nah, I like you shot. Draco can miss and miss the KO.
Oh.
Okay, just straight freeze dry.
Good call. Stomping Tantrum, I guess. I've seen Superpower. It's not unheard of.
That would be bad. Superpower would be really bad. Oh my god, they clicked Grassy Glide.
Maybe not. Superpower, I wonder... They get... is it a little weaker than half after the +1 and then the -1? I can't map in the moment.
Effectively, yeah, well, so the first defense boost multiplies the damage you would take by 2/3.
2/3 by 2/3.
So it should be around
9?
4/9 of the damage, yeah.
Nice.
So a little less than half that you would take.
Yeah.
I think, because you get a 3 halves boost, so that's 2/3 on the offensive calc, yeah. Okay. Unless you're worried about multiple crits, then I think you can click E-Shot several times and just not worry about missing.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, what? What are you doing?
Oh, they tantrum their partner to power up the tantrum.
The genius.
Oh my gosh.
Why
The
didn't they do that
genius.
last turn?
Maybe they thought they were going to be faster than bundle. Well, now they can kill us with a crit.
Yeah, I guess.
We have E-Shot.
Bonk.
Yeah, it's so weird.
Interesting.
They needed to
endgame.
tantrum. Oh, I see. They had to freeze dry the Pelly to keep it from killing them. So they had to freeze dry the Pelly, so they couldn't tantrum the Pelly. And they had to, and they couldn't hit their partner because they were hoping their partner would survive. I guess.
I think they should have grassy glowed themselves or something.
Well, they would have KO'd themselves before we got the E-Shot off.
Yeah, they are faster.
Because we're slower. Yeah, so they were in a spot where they literally couldn't forcibly fail a move.
You hate to see it.
Rough.
I mean, they threw with the Annihilape. Let's not sugarcoat that.
Yeah, that was a little.
I don't think you ever bulk up there.
They were really high on us taking out the bundle.
Yeah. Snarl Raging Bolt was not really in the game plan. What could we have done differently? I guess we could have
Earth powered the ape when we Sandseared, or Sandseared the term that the ape got the free attack on us.
Yeah.
Because we sludge bombed. I think it was okay if ape, like as long as ape went down, it was okay to Sandsear.
Yeah, I'm surprised it didn't, honestly. But
well,
I guess
the
Annihilape underspeeding the Pelipper could have tipped us off on their spread a bit, being more defensive.
Yeah, well, more just of the mind. Like even though the Sandsear didn't get there, the following turn when we sludge bombed the Raging Bolt, thinking they might protect, I think it was probably better to cover the ape. It was more important to cover the ape attacking,
Sure.
Than it was to read the lack of a protect, because the only way we lose the game is them attacking. Like if they protect that turn and don't make progress, then we're going to win the game with Pelipper Archaludon pretty easily. Because the ape is the only real threat to Arch that they have on their entire team.
So that's going to do it for our Battles of the Day, featuring Toler Webb's Orlando Rain team, featuring the Sinistcha and a whole lot of really interesting team picks like that Tera Bug Archaludon, Helping Hand, Insyn, U-Turn Urshifu. Definitely a new spin on Rain that we're not used to seeing. I want to thank Toler once again for coming on and sharing some of his thought processes with us. It was a blast to have you on. Any final words?
Yeah, it was a pleasure. I hope everyone now knows the secret truth. It's sort of deceptive, right? Because we played a few games where a lot of the time it was Pelly Arch and then set up the Arch and go. But I think this team really tests your ability to trade efficiently and know where all of your health is going to be all the time, and have really good ideas of how much damage you're going to be taking. So I hope that's the takeaway that you get is from our discussions. It's like you're often winning on razor thin margins where you just have barely enough HP. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, if you guys want to try the team for yourself, Toler was gracious enough to share the rental code, which was in the top right of the intro. I guess probably covered up by Toler, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. But I will have that in the description, as well as the Pokepaste with the EV spreads if you want to use that on Pokemon Showdown for the few days of Regulation F remaining. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, subscribe to the channel. So, follow Toler on Twitter. I'll have that linked in the description once again. And yeah, with all that being said, peace, y'all.